Today's story is about two classmates who never liked each other, but circumstances push them to a point where survival becomes very difficult. They end up being stuck together on an island for months. What happens next, how they survive, and the pranks they play on each other is what we'll see in this story. The movie begins with a beautiful girl named Emma, who wakes up very early in the morning and gets ready to go to school. Emma is one of the best and most popular students in her school, and she has many friends there. On the other hand, we see Dean, who is much lazier compared to Emma. He wakes up late, goes straight to the bathroom, brushes his teeth, and then starts playing video games. At that moment, his father Jack tells him, "You'll be late for school." Meanwhile, Emma arrives at school and meets her best friend, Lizzie. While they're talking, a boy named Steven comes over and says hi to Emma. Seeing this, Lizzie starts teasing Emma. Later in class, their teacher announces that the next day, at 7 a.m., a bus will leave for a trip to Trinidad Island. The scene then shows Emma arriving late to class, where Dean accidentally bumps into her from behind and jokingly says, "Sorry, princess." At lunch, Lizzie tells her friends about what happened between Emma and Steven in the morning and adds, "During this one-week trip, we'll make sure Emma falls in love with Steven." But Emma replies, "Let's forget about all this and just focus on the trip." Just then, Emma notices Dean cutting an apple with a knife. A moment later, Miss Collier scolds Dean for bringing a knife to school and takes him to the principal's office. Lizzie then tells her friends, a girl like Emma should never end up with a guy like Dean, especially when the hottest boy in school likes her. The next morning, Emma gets ready for the trip. She thanks her mom Barbara and dad Phil for letting her go. Meanwhile, Dean doesn't want to go on the trip, but his father Jack says, "You broke the school rules, yet I worked hard to get you this chance to join the trip." Hearing this, Dean agrees to go. Soon, Mr. Christensen tells everyone to get on the bus. While boarding, Steven asks Emma, "How are you, Emma?" Seeing this, Lizzie once again teases her, but Emma ignores it. After a while, they reach Trinidad Island. When they get off the bus, Miss Collier tells everyone, "You can enjoy everything at the pool, but make sure to be back before dinner." Later, Emma and her friends go to the pool, where Emma again meets Steven. Everyone is having fun in the pool, but Dean sits alone on the balcony, watching everything. That evening, Lizzie informs Emma that Steven has invited them to a party happening on a local boat. Emma refuses at first, but her friends force her to join. At the party, Emma looks around for Helen, but suddenly she sees Steven kissing another girl. Shocked, Emma decides to leave. Dean, who had been watching everything, says to her, "Looks like your boyfriend is having fun." Emma replies, "That's none of your business." Just then, the police arrive as they had found out that some students were taking drugs at the party. The police order everyone to come to the front of the boat. At that moment, Emma slips and falls into the water. Dean sees her fall, immediately jumps in and saves her. He pulls her onto a small boat, which was tied to the big one with a rope. Dean then cuts the rope. Emma asks, "Why did you cut the rope?" Dean replies, "I don't want to get into trouble with the police. Once they leave, we'll go back to the big boat." But soon, the big boat drifts far away. A storm starts, and Dean realizes their small boat has no motor. Suddenly, a giant wave hits them, and both of them hold on tightly. The next morning, they wake up and find themselves in the Arabian Sea, carried away by the waves. Dean's phone got damaged by the water, so he asks Emma for hers, but her phone also has no network. Emma says, "We should have followed the party boat." Dean replies, "Don't worry, someone will eventually come to rescue us." While they are talking, Emma suddenly spots an island in the distance. Dean rows the boat toward it, and after much struggle, they finally reach the island.
When they reach the island, Emma checks her phone for network, but there's still no signal. Then Dean finds a flare gun in the boat and takes it with him. After that, the two of them start moving deeper into the island, hoping to find some help. Meanwhile, Lizzie informs Miss Collier, "Emma hasn't returned to the hotel yet. I thought maybe she was with someone last night, so I didn't tell anyone earlier. The last time I saw her was on the party boat." Later, Mr. Christensen takes attendance and realizes that Dean is also missing. That's when they all understand that both Dean and Emma are gone. Soon, the police arrive and start questioning Emma's friends. Miss Collier asks the police if there's any way to find them. The police reply that such incidents happen often, and most of the time, the kids return by themselves. But if they are lost somewhere in the sea, finding them could be difficult. When Dean's father learns that his son is missing, he rushes to the school and meets Emma's mother, Barbara. Shortly after, Phil also arrives, and together they go to the principal to ask about the two missing children. But the principal cannot give them a clear answer, so they leave in frustration. Back on the island, Emma Emma and Dean keep walking. After some distance, they discover a beautiful waterfall in the jungle. Dean loves the sight and asks Emma to take a picture of him, but Emma refuses, saying, "We're stranded here and you want to have fun? I needed good marks from this trip for my project. I want to study at Princeton University. If we don't get out of here soon, everything will be ruined." They return to the shore, only to find that their boat is gone. The sea waves must have carried it away. All they can find is a single life jacket. Exhausted from walking all day, they collapse as the sun sets. Dean starts a fire, and they decide to spend the night there. Dean notices Emma shivering in the cold, so he gives her his shirt. They talk about how maybe their parents will rescue them the next morning. The next day, Dean wakes up to find Emma missing. He searches for her and sees Emma writing a huge SOS on the shore. When he asks what she's doing, she replies, "Trying to save our lives." Later, Dean goes swimming and Emma secretly watches him. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Mr. Christensen tells Emma and Dean's parents that the police are searching for them. The police have also found a small boat that might have been theirs. Jack suggests, if the police can't do anything, we can hire a private rescue team. But Mr. Christensen says the police are doing their job well and will find the kids as soon as possible. On the island, Emma drinks water but suddenly feels uneasy, as if someone is watching her. Scared, she runs away. Later, she and Dean build a small hut from leaves to protect themselves from the sun. Emma continues to write SOS on the beach in big letters so that a rescue team can notice them if they pass by. They eat whatever food they can find on the island. Dean discovers a banana tree, so they both eat bananas until they're full. Because of the heat, Emma realizes she can't wear her full pants, but she also can't just stay in her underwear, so she cuts her pants into shorts. Later, Emma sees Dean sleeping in the hut. She lies down next to him. Suddenly, Dean turns toward her and places his hand on her. Emma doesn't mind it and says nothing. The next day, when Emma is bathing under the waterfall, Dean also comes there to bathe. Emma says, "I'm bathing here. You go the other way." Dean replies, "You're the one who told me to always stay close to you." Emma answers, "I said that because there's someone else on this island besides us." Back at the hotel, Barbara is deeply worried about Emma. News spreads that Emma and Dean's disappearance is now official. The police believe they may have died, and search operations are now focused on recovering their bodies. On the island, night begins to fall. Emma tells she misses her family. Just then, Dean discovers a human skull. Emma panics and says, "Maybe he was trapped here like us, and this was his fate. Maybe the same will happen to us." Dean reassures her, saying, "He was probably a fisherman or a smuggler who died here, but we have our parents behind us. We're not alone. If we work together, we will never die here. One day, we will return home." Saying this, Dean kisses Emma. For the first time in her life, Emma kisses someone, and she likes it. That night, Dean and Emma cross all boundaries. They forget everything and give in to each other completely. Emma experiences these feelings for the first time and feels truly happy. The next morning, Emma wakes up and sees that Dean is not there. She calls out for him but can't find him. Scared, she searches the jungle and finds Dean digging a hole. Emma doesn't understand why. Suddenly, she slips and injures her knee. Dean immediately treats her wound and reassures her that she'll be fine. Afterwards, they both go to the waterfall to bathe. There, Dean tells Emma that his mother died in a car accident. Emma listens carefully. It starts raining. A while later, Dean enjoys the rain and Emma smiles while watching him. Soon, they both start dancing in the rain. Dean tucks a flower into Emma's hair. They again slip into a romantic mood and, in the jungle, the two of them create a little earthquake together.
The news reports that it has already been a month since Emma and Dean went missing. The police officially announce that they are no longer searching for them, as they believe the two are dead, but Emma's friends still have hope that both of them are alive. Weeks pass by. On the island, Emma and Dean slowly get used to the beautiful surroundings. They swim in the sea, laugh together, and whenever they feel like it, they lose themselves in each other. One day, Emma asks Dean, "When was your first time? And who was it with?" Dean replies, "I had a girlfriend back in school. She was older than me." Dean then asks Emma how her first time felt. Emma says, "Good, but the storm made sand get into the wrong places." Then she tells Dean she wants more experiences, and he smiles and says, "All right." Later, while picking fruits in the jungle, they suddenly hear the sound of a plane. They rush into an open area and Dean frantically searches Emma's bag for the flare gun, but it's not there. Before they can signal, the plane disappears into the distance. Emma searches again, but still can't find the flare gun. She begins to suspect that someone else might be living on the island and stealing their things. Days pass again, but no plane returns. Sitting in their hut, Emma and Dean talk about how maybe they should give up hope of ever going home. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Emma's and Dean's parents and friends start moving on with their lives. And on the island, Emma and Dean also learn to survive. They hunt, they build shelter from leaves, and they finally decide to spend the rest of their lives there together. One day, Emma suddenly starts vomiting. Dean asks nervously, "Are you pregnant?" Emma says no, it just happened randomly. At that moment, their lost belongings start falling from above. When they look up, they see a monkey in the trees throwing their stuff, including the missing flare gun. Emma offers the monkey a banana, and in return, it drops the gun. Just then, they hear the sound of a helicopter. They run into the open, and Emma quickly loads and fires the flare gun. The helicopter spots them, and at last, they are rescued. After 3 months, Emma and Dean finally return home. At the airport, their parents and friends welcome them with tears of joy. Each is taken back to their respective homes. That night, Dean sneaks over to Emma's house. He tells her how strange it feels to be back home. He leans in to kiss her, but Emma says, "My parents keep checking on me every 10 minutes. You should leave now. But tomorrow they're throwing a party to celebrate our return. You have to come." The next day, at the party, everyone is there. Stacy asks Dean why he isn't mingling with everyone. Dean replies, "I don't like crowds." He signals Emma to come outside, but she doesn't. Upset, he leaves. Life slowly returns to normal. Emma becomes famous because of the whole incident, while Dean isolates himself. Whenever they pass each other, they just exchange looks. One day, Emma calls Dean, but he doesn't answer. Later, at the prom party, Emma goes with her sister. Lizzie surprises her and takes her outside, where she sees Dean standing in the rain, wearing a coat, waiting for her. Seeing him, all the memories of the island flood back. Emma runs to him and they kiss passionately in the rain, finally reunited. And with this beautiful scene, the story ends. For more regular movie explanation videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.